Hello, welcome. We are in productivity mode today. I have made one video before about how much I made the first 6 or 8 months of being monetized on YouTube, and I wanted to do an updated one of those, but I also wanted to just do all of my extra income, so anything that I'm making as side hustle income. I want to up that this year. If you have not been following along, recently I moved to Spain and I'm participating in a teaching program here, and you do not really make very much money doing this, and so I'm fine. My day-to-day groceries, rent, and everything is covered, but that's it. I have to be very, very, very strict about my spending, which is totally fine. It's worth it to be here and experience this and everything, but I do still want to be saving for my future, having the opportunity to do things if I want to do any kind of educational programs, which I'm definitely looking at, that sort of thing. So anyway, that's the kind of thing that I need to be earning outside of my pay right now. So we can look at what I made last year and what the opportunities for growth are this year. I really want to be totally, transparent about these things, because partially this is coming mostly from you guys. Obviously people watching my channel is what makes me AdSense. People joining Patreon or buying a product or whatever is what makes me money there. So it would just feel weird to hide that. But also I just think in general, financial income openness is good. So although I feel sometimes a little bit weird about sharing things, I do think it's important. So we are going to look at last year. Okay, so my sources of income last year. We obviously have YouTube AdSense. I was monetized for all of 2024. We have Patreon. We have Teachable, which is an affiliate for Teachable courses, products. So last year, for part of the year, I had an Etsy store open, and then I also have products on my Ko-fi. So this is combined for reasons that we will talk about. This is no longer combined, but we'll see. And then we have Ko-fi coffees like Buy Me a Coffee, and then this one is not really relevant other than that it's the other thing going into my savings account right now, and it's interest. So I have a high yield savings account, highly recommend. I think they can have 2 to 5% interest. It definitely depends, and I think it's kind of maybe going down a little bit now, but literally free money. I'm not really doing anything to earn that money, but it is the other thing adding to my savings balance right now, which is what I'm trying to increase. January, AdSense, I made $28.26. We have $21.52 on Patreon. I think that was my first month on Patreon, and so multiple people joined. Obviously, I was very obviously always appreciative. And then Teachable, doing all of this bookkeeping stuff may have earned me money, saved me money, because when I pulled this up, I never got this payment. It still says pending on their website, and the amount that reached my account was much smaller than that. So I emailed them, and if they send it to me, then I actually, gained money doing this. So that's exciting. I didn't open my high yield savings account until much later in the year, so this will be blank for a while, and I had no products or Ko-fi income. February, $42.26 on AdSense. This is kind of where it's gonna level out for a while. $17.72 on Patreon. Also, these are post fees but pre-tax, so yeah. $118.08 on Teachable. This is a trend that is my highest earner, which is crazy because I do nothing other than having that link. Affiliate marketing, from what I understand, if you have Amazon links and that sort of thing, takes a long time to add up, but some of these partner programs like Lingopie, Teachable, what's the other big one, Story Learning, they can be really high percentages on the affiliate, And so that's where they can be a lot more profitable. March, $39.40 on AdSense, $16.92 on Patreon, $180 on Teachable. April, $41.51 AdSense, $16.88 Patreon, $100. So Patreon can go up and down even if nobody joins or leaves because of exchange rates, people paying in different currencies. May, $33.88 on AdSense, $19.37 on Patreon, $133.60 on Teachable, and then $7.93 on products. So I think this was the Etsy month where I launched Etsy, and I was trying to do a shop that really was like I could send people there from this channel, but wasn't like branded this channel or anything. And it basically didn't really work. I still like the products that I made, and those are on my Ko-fi page, and I want to promote them more, improve them, and add to them. But Etsy takes a lot of fees. Like, I think I sold over $10 of stuff on Etsy that month, and as you can see, it was less than $8. So that's like over 20% in fees, and they also charge just like listing fees. So there were some months, I didn't add it in here because it wasn't really worth it, but there were some months where I would have charges from Etsy, and it was only like 20 or 30 cents or whatever, but like, so I just ended up removing all my Etsy stuff and leaving it on my Ko-fi because they charge less fees. The idea ideally was to have something discoverable. Someone could find that product on Etsy without knowing who I was or anything. Then June, $43.98 on AdSense, $19.36 on Patreon, $53.60 on Teachable. July, more of the same on AdSense and Patreon, $187 on Teachable. This varies obviously a lot because some people buy like one-time purchase, like they'll buy a course just outright, and then some people buy it on like where they pay over like 4 months or 6 months or something. And also this is massively delayed because people can request a refund for I think 90 days or something like that. So we'll see that coming up as well. August, we have our first interest payment, so $47.71 AdSense. So that was, I think, my highest month to date on AdSense. $16.45 on Patreon and $181.96 on Teachable, and then a partial month of interest at $18.41. September, $46.89 AdSense, $2.36 on Patreon. I paused my Patreon for most of the month of September. I think it was part of August, almost all of September, because I was moving, and so I knew I was not going to be able to sustain anything. Not that it's like that much work, but yeah. $107 on Teachable, and then this was my biggest interest month. I don't know what was going on this month, but $49.16 on interest. October, $36.87, so we're in a little bit of a slump on YouTube. I think I didn't upload every week in September, so that's probably that. $17.31 on Patreon, $80 on Teachable, $42 on interest, so we're evening out on the interest. November, $45.61 AdSense, $16.37 Patreon, $169 or $106.90 on Teachable, $39.85. That is about where the interest is gonna stay. December, $51.58 on AdSense, another highest month ever. I did my 12 days of languages, so I did significantly more uploads in December, which definitely helped. Most of those videos did not actually do that well on their own, money-wise. It was just there were a lot more of them. $17 on Patreon. This is where the Teachable statement from that month hasn't even arrived yet, and it's February because people could still request refunds, and if so, that gets taken off, obviously. Annual pre-tax total, which looks like a lot of money to me. I mean, to be totally honest, obviously depends on where you're coming from, but almost exactly $500 on YouTube, $200 on Patreon, $1,300 on Teachable, $10-ish on products, and almost $200 in interest. So, yeah, this is not actually the money that hit my account. Also because YouTube pays out on a delay. Patreon doesn't really pay out on a delay, but Teachable pays out on a massive delay. And like for tax purposes, which we're going to get into, the only relevant part is what hit your account. So some of the stuff from last year, from 2023, hit my account, and some of this stuff hadn't yet for the tax year. So the taxes and stuff is not actually accurate, but we'll look at it here. So if this all had actually hit my account this year, we would have a gross total of $2,240.71. Like, I don't know the exact tax rate that I was being taxed on, but obviously, you know, when you're filing your taxes and like the little number is going down on your return or going up on what you owe. Based on that, I paid a lot of taxes on this income. So it was like 35+%. So that's what I'm using to determine my net here. Took home $1,529.50 in 2024, which comes out to a monthly number of $127, which is what I thought. So yeah, I mean, obviously per hour, that is an abysmal rate, like $1 an hour maybe. But it's income that I am very happy to have. It's an income that I enjoy making and hopefully can be at least somewhat scaled. Speaking like a finance guru, that is 2024. Considering it was really like the first year that I made basically anything, I'm happy with it. So 2025, mostly it's going to be the same. I do have a couple other affiliate programs kind of in the works potentially. I'm talking to 2 different people about being in their affiliate program, and I don't think it would be anything nearly like the Teachable income, which also I feel like that could go away at any time. Like, that's not something that I'm like, I don't know, counting on or like viewing as like a key part of my side hustle strategy. It's just like, it's nice to have, and I do think that those courses are good, and so I feel fine about it being there. But I mean, like, Damon Dominique could like pull his courses tomorrow or something. So that's not really something I'm trying to increase or anything. Other affiliates that I do, support what they're doing, support their products, I would be fine with adding those. I do really, really want to increase the product sales because I actually think that they're good. Like, I made them and then stuck them up there, and then it just kind of low-key flopped, and then I just got busy with like moving and everything and never really gave it a second thought. And then like January, I was looking at them to send them to someone that I know and in my regular life, and I was like, these are good. Why am I not doing anything to try to sell these? So I am going to do some small like improvements. I can't finish it right now because Notion is kind of down. It's not really communicating, so I don't want to do a bunch of work and then have it crash out and lose all of it. But I am converting my 50 free dates with Spanish. I have a PDF that's like a clickable PDF that you can like just swipe through them on your phone, or I want it to also be available in this Notion database so that people can use it either way, and you'd get both when you purchased it. So I want to finish this and add that to the Ko-fi page, and then I'm like halfway through making the intermediate advanced one. That's the beginner intermediate, and then I just want to actually finish the intermediate advanced because like I have so many resources for Spanish. Like, I have spent just an absolutely obscene amount of time, obviously learning Spanish, but also combing through websites and everything online and have it benefit other people and also help me, then I'm all about it. So right now those are just on Ko-fi, but I don't know, I do need to look at other sites and see if it's worth putting them up somewhere else or whether I should just put all my energy into Ko-fi. I did also update my link tree for my Instagram. I cleaned it all up, made all the links look cohesive and nice, so hopefully that will also help a little bit. But that's where we're at with my income. Let me know if you have ideas, if any of this surprised you or whatever, and I will see you in the next video.